In this next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw the back wall of the off-grid tiny house. So what we're going to do is, before we get started, is just hide this front wall part. So left click on the eye. Okay, and we're going to start our new sketch. So left click on sketch. Click on my front plane here, left click once. I'm ready to begin sketching. Now if I come up to my cube here, I'm just going to square up my workspace. So double click on the front, left, and we are ready to draw. So I'm going to start with my rectangle by pressing G on my keyboard, and I'm going to left click once, come across, left click again, 300, enter, 80, enter. Zooming out, zooming back in. Okay, I'm ready to start drawing my construction lines again. So L for line, Q for construction. Coming up to the top here, left click once, come down, type in 10, enter, come down again, left click once, type in 10, enter, and then we're going to come down 40 millimeters. So down here, left click, enter, 40, enter. I then want to bring those construction points right across to the other side. So L for line, Q for construction, making sure that I have my line and construction tool checked. Left click here on that point, bring that right across, making sure that my line is perpendicular, so it is still yellow. Left click, escape. Repeat that step for these 2 points, L and Q. Left click, come across, left click again, escape, L, Q, left click. Now this top line, instead of going all the way across, we're going to set out our construction points for our windows and the slots for the internal walls to fit into. So this first one we're going to set at 66.6 millimeters. So I'm just going to come back and left click, 66.6, enter. My next one's going to be set at 36.3. 36.3, enter. Okay, and I will continue this one all the way across to the other side. Left click, escape. And I'm going to set 2 more construction points back from this point. So L for line, Q for construction. Left click once, come across on that line, left click, 26, enter, and continue across again, left click, 74, enter, and escape. Okay, remembering we can remove this geometry or move it out of our way, so just to tidy up our workspace, left click and drag those dimensions, or you can simply delete them by clicking on them and then pressing delete on your keyboard. Okay, we're going to use our rectangle tool now, so G as the keyboard shortcut. Left click here, coming down, left click again, typing in 3, enter, and escape. And we'll repeat that step over on this end here. So G for corner rectangle, left click once, coming down onto that construction line, left click again, 3, enter, and press escape. Okay, we're now going to draw the slots for mounting our internal walls. So we will come up to this first construction point here. G for our corner rectangle, left click on that point, coming down, left click again, typing in 3 millimeters wide by 20 millimeters high. Okay, I still have my corner rectangle tool selected, so I'm going to come along to this point here. We're going to draw in the back window of the house. So left click once, coming across, left click again, typing in 67, enter, and 30, enter. That is now the back window of the house. Come along to our next construction point here. We're going to draw the other slot for our internal wall. So left click on this point here, coming back towards that window, left click again, 3 millimeters wide by 20 millimeters high, enter. And coming along to this construction point here, drawing in our final window, left click once, dragging down, left click again, 40 millimeters wide by 30 millimeters high. And there is our final window. Now we can start to use our trim tool to remove these end pieces, and then we can extrude the back wall to a depth of 3 millimeters. So M for trim, left click once deletes the construction line, left click again deletes the line, left click once and left click again to delete that line. And I am now ready to extrude that back wall. So coming up the top here, left click extrude, set it to a depth of 3 millimeters, solve that sketch, and we now have the back wall of the off-grid tiny house. Remembering to rename our parts in our sketches. So coming over to sketch 1 here, right click, rename, back wall, enter, and right click on part 2, rename, back wall, enter.